Hello and welcome to the channel. In tonight's episode, I'm in the garage and I'm about to sow some seeds in the garage greenhouse. So let's get started. For some reason tonight, my lighting to me looks off on the camera. So if it looks dark or gray or weird, I do apologize. I have my shop lights on up there. I have my ring light on over there, but it just doesn't feel as though it's bright enough to me. So if it looks weird, I do apologize. I am in the garage. I have moved some things around. I've got some pots with some soil down by my feet. I will be repurposing some things, soil, and I have some coconut coir that I just went outside and got from outside. I put some perlite in it. It's in a recycled bag with a little shovel or trowel in the inside. So I picked up some seeds from out of my refrigerator. I have a lot of seeds that I'd like to plant. I don't know how successful it's going to be because I don't know how viable these seeds are. They've been in the refrigerator for quite some time. I have herbs and I don't know what in here. I can see artichoke, but I think these are all herbs of some kind. In this one, I believe these are all flowers of some kind. And I took these out of my seed boxes. And this one is charred spinach, and I don't have any more bloody dock, so I'll have to maybe take that off or get more bloody dock. I would like to see if I can get some chard to grow in the greenhouse. And this one is the artichoke, broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower container. This also has in here, I want to say, let me see. No, that's all. Oh no, yadfa. It has the Chinese yadfa. That it's like a Chinese broccoli. Y'all can see that. So I have a little bit of that in here. So I am going to see about starting the artichoke. Those seeds have been in the refrigerator, and we're just going to see how far I can get today. I can't take you all along for everything because you saw how big my packets are of my herbs and my flowers. There's lots going on here. I have lots of recycled containers. I just, dirt everywhere. I just took these out of the shed. I have these that I took out of the shed. I'm going to actually put these right here. I also have the peekaboo cup method that I've been using for a couple of years. These have been in the greenhouse for quite some time. I used these last winter. I have some smaller ones. What I've been doing is getting rid of all of the ones that were damaged in some way. I just got rid of all of those because I don't need them anymore. There's no need for me to keep holding on to things that are just damaged. I also have 2 8-ounce pots at my feet that I was growing different things in the house, clippings and such. So I've got that soil down here. I also have a takeaway container. I don't remember what was in it. I think it was maybe bundt cake or pound cake or something like that that I had taken over to my neighbor. And I've got some soil in there that I mixed in to start some seeds. So I'm going to mix this soil in with the coconut coir and perlite and see if I can get my seeds started in the containers that I just showed you all. So let's just start. I don't have anywhere in particular that I want to start. I do know that I want to get the artichoke. So I think maybe I just brought these out for nothing. So I'm not planting anything in here. The artichoke was in the refrigerator. The Swiss chard. So I'll start here with the Swiss chard. I also have spinach in here. I have not been successful with this spinach. I think it should be soaked, if memory serves me correctly. I should soak the spinach and the Swiss chard. Oh, I do have a little bit of bloody dock, I think. Tiny bit of bloody dock. I'm going to see if I can get that to grow. This has been very difficult for me. I've only been able to get this to grow once. This seed is so small, it has to rest on the top of the soil. So the Egyptian spinach was already outside. I'm not planting any more. Well, no, I'll plant some common sorrel as well. I've got some common sorrel. I'll plant that. That plant died off. This one is frost tolerant, so I'll plant a couple of these in here. So let's just start there. Let's get some soil in the containers, and I'll start planting a couple of these, and we'll go from there. I think what I'll do is I'll just use the peekaboo cup for those, because those are the food. And we'll use the store-bought reused things for the flowers, I think. We'll figure it out as we go. So let's get some soil in these cups. Let's get started. Now, what I like to do when I get my soil inside of my cups or pots or whatever I'm using to plant my seeds in is I put my soil inside of a cup. I didn't show you all that because I think that that's not something that I absolutely necessarily need to show you. But all I did was I took this pot right here at my feet. I have some mixed up soil in this pot, and I just took this trowel and put some soil in the cup. But if you do need an example, here's a cup. I took the trowel, trying not to drop it on the floor. Oop. And I put soil in the cup like that. That's how I put soil in my cups. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just in case this is your first time and maybe you don't know how that works. Now, I went outside in the backyard, in the garden, and I got some rainwater. So let's get that. I'm working in a very tight spot over here. This is another reason why I don't really like working in the garage. The garage is hot. It's very hot in here. I do have the fan, but I think if I turn the fan on, the wind noise will be very disruptive and you all won't be able to really hear me. I may turn the fan on and see if that's the case because it's beginning to warm up. I've got my shop lights on. I've got my ring light on, and the lighting just doesn't seem the best to me today. So I don't know. I may turn the lights on over there as well. I've got shop lights on both sides of my garage. And so I don't think the shop lights over there will really be beneficial to what we're doing over here. So I think I'm just not going to bother. Now, this is the rainwater that I was talking about. I also have a gallon jug over there with some more rainwater just in case I need it. And I have a spray bottle. When you're starting seeds indoors, you need to mist your soil with your seeds. You don't want to displace your seeds at all once you've planted your seeds. And so I have my spray bottle. I don't know if it works or not. We'll see. And I also have my pump sprayer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pump sprayer and I'm going to spray the soil and saturate it completely. I don't want to put seeds on dry soil. I find that when I put seeds on dry soil and you water it from the top, your seeds will fall down. And something might be wrong with my pump sprayer, y'all. Oh no, maybe it's just user error, operator error. And so I don't like to start sowing seeds on dry soil. Even when I'm in the garden, I try to water whatever container I'm going to be sowing seeds in. I sow the seeds after I water. I put a little bit of soil on top if that's required. And then I may or may not mist the seeds. Usually I try to mist the seeds because the seeds need that water to activate them. And then I'm going to take my spray bottle and hopefully not spray myself in the face. And I'm just going to spray down this soil, moisten it very well. I don't want it to be so saturated that it's dripping water. The water's flowing through, but I do want this soil to be moist. That way, when the seeds are in this cup, they're sitting on moist soil versus dry soil, and they have a better chance of initial germination because the soil is wet. So I am just spraying down. I know you all cannot see, I only have one phone and I videotape on my phone. So let's change the angle so that you're not looking at me and you're actually looking at what I'm doing, because that's what this is about. You looking at what I'm doing versus you looking at me. All right, you're not going to see me, but you're going to see what I'm working on, and that's fine. So all I'm doing is just spraying the soil with my pump sprayer. Use whatever type of sprayer or water bottle you have to wet your soil. You don't need anything special when you're starting out. Matter of fact, you probably don't need anything special, period. A lot of people have special things in their garden because they like those things, not necessarily because they're absolutely needed. Now, you will need some stuff. You need a container. You need to have light and airy soil. You need fertilizer. But when it comes to starting out your seeds, you can start your seeds out in a cup. Now, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the soil to see if it's saturated. Is it moist or is it still dry? I have just a takeaway spoon. I'm going to just move this soil around just to see if this soil is moist, and it is. In that cup, it is. It didn't look like it, but in that cup, it was. This cup, it is. I just want to make sure. We're going to take that out. I'm going to make sure that the soil is moist in all of these cups. Okay, that's what we need to do when we're starting our seeds. So that is what I'm doing. Now, this again is soil that was in the house in a house plant, and it had been sitting. Well, actually, it wasn't a house plant. It was just soil that I had in the house that I use when I'm planting house plants. And this one didn't have anything in it. It was just a pot that wasn't being used. What I do is I use pots in the house for house plants and for cuttings. I'll bring cuttings in and I will keep them in the house until they begin to do what they do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to press down this soil. I did move it around to see if it was moist, but I'm going to flatten out the soil, kind of press the top layer only so it's a little firm so that when I do spritz, the seeds are not falling through. But I'm not going to compress the soil, but I am going to kind of compress the top just a little bit, just by moving it around, making it level, and just sort of kind of pressing it down a little bit because I don't want to compress everything in that cup. Now, what I'm going to start with, let's see, what were we talking about, y'all? Did I say, oh no, we were going to start over here. We're going to start over here. This is, and I've been trying to do a little bit of reading in my spare time. Ha ha ha. Don't generally have a lot of that, but in between all the things, I've been Googling, and some seeds they were saying could require you to put them in hot water. So I have these really old, very old spinach seeds, Bloomdale spinach. I feel shame to tell you how old these seeds are. It says 48 days to maturity. I would love to be able to get some spinach to put in my freezer and to eat fresh. It says here that sell by date November 2016, y'all. Seeds back then were $1.37. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a generous amount of these seeds and I'm going to spread them heavily across the soil. I don't think any of these seeds are viable. So I'm just going to spread them heavily across the soil and we shall see if they grow. Now, down at my feet, I have that cup of soil here. I'm just going to take this soil and sprinkle it over the top. When your seeds are relatively large, you can sprinkle a significant amount of soil over the top. What they say is the size of your seed should be the depth they are in the soil. Okay? So we just cover that up lightly. And I will take my mister bottle once I'm done planting everything, and I will mist all the seeds. So I don't have a label written out for this. So I will need to write a label because I don't want to forget what is in that container, that cup, because I will forget. It's important to have some kind of label. You can use a spoon, you can use a fork, you can use a chopstick, but you do need to have something to label your container. You can write on it because you will ultimately forget. I don't know anyone who is that good when they have a large garden that they can remember everything that they planted in all the places that they planted it, because I cannot. I really should have got my reading glasses. My word. These words getting smaller and smaller, y'all. I don't know what day it is, and I can't see it on my watch. I'll get the date later. But I have spinach, and I put the tag, and I'll put the tag right there. So don't forget to label everything. I wasn't certain that I was going to plant spinach, but there we have it, spinach. And again, I don't think any of these seeds are viable, so there we go. This is all the Swiss chard I have. I don't have any more rainbow chard or any other chard. This is the rhubarb chard. So I am going to sow some seeds for the rhubarb chard. And this one says 22. So I'm concerned about these seeds as well. So I'm going to put a generous amount of Swiss chard. And if you all can hear that music, I do apologize. It sounds like one of my neighbors has come home and they are playing loud music. So I hope you all can hear that. But if you do, I do apologize. That is not me. I don't have anything going on in here. And so I'm going to write on the label that this is Swiss chard. I have a label down here at my feet. They're jamming out there. And this is not that I really care, but it's rhubarb chard. I think today might be the 9th. I don't know. It has been a very long day and a very long week. Okay, so you put some soil over the top to cover those seeds. Just like that. And that's how I plant all of my seeds. It's all the same. So that is the spinach, Bloomsdale, and the rhubarb chard. Let's see if there's anything else in here I'd like to. Oh, yes, there are. The common sorrel. I wanted some of that as well. I didn't eat the common sorrel, believe it or not. I was growing it. It actually overwintered in my garden. And when I moved it from the original pot, it didn't like that move and it died on me. So let me see if I can read. It talks about when to sow it. Blah, blah, blah. I was trying to see if I could see if it needs to be. I can actually look at the seed and tell. Oh, no. It's a small seed, but it does not need to sit on top of the soil. I don't know if you all can see that. That is common sorrel. So I'm going to take this pinch and I'm going to sow it right in the center. And as I was saying, I grew this a few years ago. It came with me from North Texas. It grew in the garden up until last year. And when I up potted it, I moved I dug it out the pot and moved it around. It didn't like it and it passed away. So we are going to see if we can have the common sorrel. Now I am not going to put the soil on top. What I think I'm going to do, and I hope I didn't kick y'all, what I think I'm going to do with the common sorrel is I'm going to grab some vermiculite. That is a very small seed. I'm going to grab a little bit of vermiculite and just put a little bit of vermiculite over the top of that versus covering that up with soil. I do not want to accidentally bury that too deep and then it doesn't come up for me. I think that's what happened when I tried to put it in the garden. It got buried in the garden and it didn't come up. So I'm going to take one of these labels, and this is the common sorrel. We're going to write that on your label. Don't forget, everybody, label, label, label. That is a problem for many of us gardeners. Okay, there's something in there. So that I am going to go through and finish sowing seeds. That is perpetual spinach. Do I want to try to put perpetual spinach in there as well? Yes, I do. The perpetual spinach seeds look just like, in my opinion, Swiss chard, if memory serves me correctly. Yep, they look just like Swiss chard. I'm going to put some perpetual spinach in here. And I know these seeds are old because it's been a long time since I've bought from this company. And I want to say it says, yep, it says sell by 21, December 21. So I am going to take a nice pinch of these perpetual spinach seeds, and I'm going to sow them in this cup like so. And they're a relatively big seed, so you can actually put soil on top of that. So I am going to get some soil out of this cup, and we're just going to sprinkle it on top like so, covering them up, not too deeply, but just a little bit. I'm going to take that little stick out of there. And I need to put a label. Now I'm going to do one more with you all, and then I'm going to speed this up. And when I get to something else that I think you all might like to see, I will come back. Let's see. So we're just going to make a label. And I'm probably going to have, oh, I've got labels right here. I was getting ready to say, oh no, I don't know if I'm going to have enough labels, but I will. Perpetual spinach. Okay, so again, always label. Now, my problem with labeling is I do great when I'm labeling like this. But when it comes to taking the labels and transferring them outside, that's when the game just falls all the way off. Now, I had some Egyptian spinach already in the garden growing, and I resowed those seeds from the few pods that went to seed. And I need to go and check it and see if it's still there. Y'all, I have been awful. This winter, I've been awful. I have not been in the garden like I really should have, and I know better. But here we are today. Here we are today. I do not have very many of this bloody dock. I have just a corner, just a tiny bit in this corner, and that's it. And again, this seed is very old. I don't think this seed is going to be viable. Let's take a look at it. This is a perennial, but can be grown as an annual in certain areas depending on your climate. These seeds, they don't give you information that you may need. Like, does this need sun? Does this need light to germinate? It doesn't say that. It does not say that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all of these seeds. They're tiny. And I am going to just place them in the center of this. And I'm going to also put vermiculite over the top of that, because that seed is a little smaller than the others. It's probably about the same size as the common sorrel. It looks like it's about the same size as the common sorrel. So I'm just going to put a little bit of vermiculite over the top like that. And now I'm going to take my spritzer and see if this will work. I don't think it will. Nope, it's not. Oh no, there we go. It needed some time, y'all. It had to work its way to spraying. And so I'm just going to spray, just spritz the top of the soil like that, just to get those seeds wet. Now, the seeds that are pretty big, like the perpetual spinach and the spinach and the rhubarb, what I can do is I can actually spray those with the pump sprayer because those are much bigger seeds. And so these seeds, since they're so tiny, much smaller, it's best to spray these with a sprayer like I'm doing here. And when the vermiculite is wet, it changes color. It gets darker in color. I just want to make sure that those seeds come in contact with water. Okay? All right. Now, what did I put in here? Oh, bloody dock. See? Look at it. Almost forgot. Okay, we're going to write on here bloody dock. And then these are going to go in the greenhouse. And I don't have a dome for these trays, but let me tell you all what I do. Just in case you don't have a dome, you're doing something like this with the peekaboo cups, and you're like, oh, I really do need a dome to trap in moisture so that these seeds can germinate. Well, what I do is, let's see, here we go. I can grab this one. I take some bubble wrap. If you all have any packages that have come in from whatever you've bought online, save your bubble wrap. I just lay the bubble wrap over the top of these cups, and it will allow condensation to fall into the cups. And I will get germination just by doing this, if the seeds are viable. I have done this many times in the past. This method for me does work. Now, I will turn on my heat mat. I do have heat mats in my greenhouse. Each shelf has a heat mat. I'm going to turn on the heat mat for the top shelf. I'm not going to turn the light on because I don't feel like they need light because, well, I'm not sure if these tiny seeds need light. So you know what? I will turn the light on. I have a timer, so the timer will turn it on and off. But I'll turn this top shelf on once I get everything planted up. And once we're done, you'll be able to see how this ends. So let's put this bubble wrap back inside of the greenhouse. Let's get some more cups filled with soil. Let's fill this entire tray with cups. And then, well, I'll be back before then, but let me do some quick movie magic, and I'll be right back. I have put soil in the rest of these cups. I've grabbed my herb Ziploc baggie. There might be more than herbs in here, but the first thing I'm grabbing out of here is some artichoke, some violet de Provence artichoke, and I'll show you that. This seed again is old. This company seeds that I have are very old. I have not shopped at this company since probably 21 or 22. And this one says 20. So I don't know if these seeds are viable, but I am going to give them a try. I don't know whether or not the seeds need to be soaked, or I know they've been in the refrigerator. I don't recall. I think you need to soak them. Y'all, I don't know. But I am going to place several seeds in a container, a cup, just like that. And these are really big seeds, so they can be covered over with soil. So we're going to put them back in there like that. And you know what I should do? Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to, I'm making a mess, y'all. I am going to sow all of these seeds because these seeds are old. There aren't a whole lot of them. And if I need to, I'll find somebody to give these plants to because artichokes can get very, very large. So let's get a tag if I can remember where I laid them down. Here we are. Because I moved everything off of here since I am sowing seeds up here. So we're going to write on this tag. We're going to put that up there. We're going to write on this tag what it is, which is the Violette de Provence artichoke. I think I'm saying that correctly. All right, and once I figure out what day it is, I will write that on there. I think today is the 9th, in all honesty. I think that's what today is. I think it's the 9th. Now I'm going to take some soil, and I can't quite see where I'm going to move some of those seeds around so they're not stacked on top of each other. And I'm going to take a spoonful of soil like that and just plop it on top and cover those seeds up like that. All right. And I dropped my seeds over here, y'all. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw what happened. So let's see if I can grab them and not make any more of a mess over here. It's never the plan. There we go. I got them. All right. Mistakes happen. No one was hurt. Nothing was hurt in the dropping of the seeds. All right. Now let's see. Let's see what else we're going to sow in here. I've already sown pretty much everything in this pouch. So we're doing this again because some stuff have germinated, some stuff have not. That's why I don't like sowing seeds inside. I get dirty and I don't like it. Don't like it. Okay, so we have sage, broadleaf sage. We have peppermint. We have lemon balm. I definitely want that. What's this? Oh, we don't need Texas Star Hibiscus. We have that. That comes back every year. We have chamomile. We have true Greek oregano. And I think that's what's, yeah, we've got 2 different types of true Greek oregano. We have cilantro. I do remember reading that the cilantro does need to be soaked, but here we are. We're in the garage and I haven't soaked anything. I have thyme. I have common cilantro. I have perilla, the shisho, green and red. I do have a little bit of chicory growing in the garden, but I do want to put more chicory. I use chicory root every morning when I make coffee. I have English lavender. I have Munstead lavender. I have citronella balm, common spearmint. I have, green globe artichoke. Oh, we're going to put that one in the pot next to the Violette de Bordeaux. Hello, Violette de Bordeaux. I'm thinking about figs. Violette de Provence, green globe artichoke. So we're going to put some of that in there. Now, this seed I know was relatively new because I bought from M.I. Gardner, and it says packed for 2025. So I bought that last year, I want to say. We have hyssop, anise hyssop. I do have that in the garden. Oh, we have some true lavender. We have some, I can't see that. We have some more chicory. It looks like it says Whitloaf. Let me find the other chicory. I want to keep it together because I want to sow those next to one another. What did I do with it, y'all? Here we are. And this one just says chicory. It doesn't have a specific name to it. And then I'm not going to sow any mugwort because I already have mugwort in the house. And I don't need any mugwort at the moment. And I'm not sowing any Texas Star Hibiscus, so we're going to put that back in the bag. So the next thing we're going to sow is that artichoke. So where did it go? Here we are. We're going to sow this artichoke. And I'm going to put these seeds back in this bag because I only have 2 hands. I don't have a lot of space. I don't have a little table in here. And so I don't have anywhere to put these seeds where they're not falling all over the place. So I'm just going to put them back over there. And again, green globe artichoke. I don't think I ever used these. Not sure. But we're going to put just a couple of these in here. And we'll see if, because this seed should be a more viable seed. And we shall see if that will germinate. Now we're going to put this in this seed bag since we opened it up. That's how I know I've opened up a seed, is when I open up my seed packets, I put them in a little baggie. That way I don't lose seeds. They're not falling out all over the place. That's not what I want. And then when you have seeds, you don't know what they are. So we're just going to put that back in here like this. And I can always plant some artichoke in the front of the house. They're very big plants. They have beautiful flowers. So you don't necessarily have to just have artichoke in your food garden landscape, just in case you were not aware. I want to say, and I could be wrong, but I think I'm not. I want to say Lady Linda Teenog had some artichoke in her front yard a while ago. It's been a long time since I've seen that plant. So what kind of artichoke was that, y'all? I'm doing too much today. Green globe. That's what it was. It was green. Yep, green globe. So we're gonna write on there green globe. You can see how much I really don't like growing in the garage greenhouse. I just don't have enough space, and I don't like to be crowded when I'm doing stuff. I've already dropped soil on the ground. I don't like that. So now I need to take the broom and sweep again. I don't like that. I had already got the floor clean, and here we are messing it up again, y'all. So we have the Violette de Provence and the Green Globe artichoke. I'm hoping to get an artichoke, you all. I really would love to have artichoke. So the next thing I'm going to plant is lavender, because I have some already pre-made lavender tags, and I will just mark out, because this lavender didn't survive. It was supposed to survive, but I think that some of these nurseries bamboozle. They buy or they're shipped plants. Uh-oh, there's a bug in here apparently. They ship plants to certain cities like the city I live in, and those plants are not good for the climate. And I'm like, why would you sell something that's not going to survive here? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I guess just to make money. But Texas sun is no joke. Texas sun does not play. And when certain things say full sun, that does not at all mean Texas sun. So this is Munstead lavender. And lavender, if memory serves me correctly, needs light. And it needs cold stratification. That's why all of these seeds were in the refrigerator. So I am going to put vermiculite over the top of all the lavender. So I'm going to write on that little stake that this is Munstead. I hope you guys are liking seeing what I am attempting to germinate. We'll see if I grow it or not. If it germinates, we'll see if it gets to grow, because don't know. These seeds were given to me by my sister. I don't know how long my sister had them or what conditions they were in. So I don't know if they will germinate. We'll see. I know she has a beautiful lavender plant in her garden, but I don't know if she bought it or if she grew it. So we're going to try. This is true lavender. I'm going to do it like that. Just like that. Let me see. I can put some more in there. Let me see if I have enough seeds. And again, I do apologize if you can hear the music. My neighbors are coming home. I can put just a few more in that pot of true lavender. There we go. So you can probably hear their music. I do apologize. That is not my music. So I hope not to get a strike. I cannot control what others do. I can only control what I do. All right, so we're going to put true right here. And I hope these germinate. Last but not least, before I go to this last row, I'm not going to take you all with me as I plant this last row. I'm going to speed it up, but I'm going to plant some English lavender. And I really don't think this English lavender is going to grow here, even though I have been to Europe, and lavender likes a dry, arid climate. I just don't know how successful this is going to be. And that right there is the English lavender. I need a tag for that. So let's find a tag. Put it back in the bag so that we don't lose anything. And we're going to write on here, English lavender. And we're going to put that in the cup like that. All right. Now, as I said, I am going to speed this up and finish off planting the last row. Before I do that, I'm going to put a little bit of vermiculite over the top of these seeds just to keep them moist. Not a lot. I do believe they need light to germinate. Now, supposedly light can get through vermiculite, but I just want to make sure that I'm not overdoing it. I can overlove my plants. That's why stuff dies, because I overlove it. I don't mean to, but I do. Now I am going to spritz this. And as I'm looking at the ones I've already spritzed, the Bloody Dock and the Common Sorrel, that vermiculite has turned darker, so it is absorbing the soil water and the water from me spritzing it. I just don't want to press these seeds down very far. And actually, I don't want to press them down at all, but I do want them to have contact with the soil, and I want them to be moist. So now that I have 2 rows of seeds sown, I'm going to sow this last row of seeds, and then we'll go to a whole another tray, because I have a lot of flowers I'd like to try to germinate so I can pop them in my front yard landscape, pop them in my cut flower garden, and depending on whether or not I can put them in the back garden in a container or maybe even in the ground, pop them in the back garden as well. So let me finish off this last row and I'll be right back. I have finished planting up the first tray of seeds, and without you, I planted up chamomile, broadleaf sage, Moroccan cilantro. I didn't plant everything because I want to plant some of that stuff directly into the containers in the greenhouse. I do have some of these seeds that I put in the, what is that thing called? The green stalk. Sorry, I had a brain fart. I did put some of these in the green stalk. They did not come up. So I decided to go ahead and try it this way, thinking that maybe it was me versus the seeds being in the green stalk. I'm not sure. But I tried the Moroccan cilantro only because I would like to think that it would grow well in a warm climate versus the common one that will bolt very quickly. So I chose not to plant that seed. I've got some common thyme and some chicory root. I need chicory root because, like I said, I do put that in my coffee, and you can also use the leaves as a salad. So I'm going to take this bubble wrap and I am just going to lay it over the top of these cups, and I am going to get this in the greenhouse. I'm going to try to be careful not to knock anything over and spill my seeds out of here, because there's always a possibility of that happening when you are trying to move your trays. These trays are not the sturdiest of trays, and so I just need to be careful not to knock anything over. Now, you probably can see that in the greenhouse, I already have something up here. I picked up several months ago some irises that I found on sale at Lowe's. I got 2 of them. I didn't realize they were $3, or I would have gone back and got probably three more. But I never went back. So I do have irises sitting in here. I just put them in here, like I think either last night or the night before last. But I did notice today when I pulled them out that they are beginning to get some roots. I changed the water today. It doesn't look like it, but I did change the water and they're beginning to wake up. Let me show you. I hope you all can see. They don't look like much, but right here where the cup is, right where the lip of that cup is, can you all see those fresh new roots? If you're gardeners, you see them. But let me put the cup down. Hang on, y'all. I was trying not to get water dripping everywhere, but let's see. Right here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roots. So this is alive. It looks absolutely horrible. If you see irises in any store that look like this, take a chance and buy it because it's probably not dead. Soak it in water until the roots begin to grow and you get a nice good root on it, and then you can go ahead and plant it. And so I just put it back in the water and I'm going to let it root, and then I'm going to get it in the front garden. And I will show you in just a second once I figure out what I did with the actual labeling of it. It's in here somewhere, y'all. I'll show you all in a second. But let me move it down here. I don't want it to fall over. I got 2 of them. And I just use a takeaway cup. I recycle in this house, y'all. You will, if you have not been with me for a while, or if today's your first day seeing me, hi. I recycle. This bag is actually no good. It has a rip. So I will actually throw that one away. I've been saving seeds. So let me take the seeds out of here. These are the white zinnia flowers that were growing in my front yard. So I have a whole bag of white zinnia seeds. I'll show you all. This is the seed head. And so I've got a bag of those. I just put everything in the greenhouse while I was cutting so that I could come back to it later. So I'm going to place that on the ground right there. I also have some magenta ones that I don't want to keep all those flowers. I think I took that bag and moved it over there. So I'm going to take this tray out. Have to be careful not to knock anything over and displace what's in this tray. But let me grab this one. And I also have a weather thermometer in here, so it tells me what the temperature is inside the greenhouse. It's in the house, that way I know what the temperature is in the greenhouse. So let me take this out of here. I've got some seeds. I've got some castor bean seeds. So let me go and put these castor bean seeds in the I have a big bucket over there. I was collecting castor bean seeds, and I need to put these in that bucket. So I'll be right back. I found the paperwork for the irises. They are bearded irises. They're due to be planted in fall. It's winter time. They're called Pink Cloud. I thought they were really pretty because I thought they were white. And then I got home and realized it said they were Pink Cloud. But they're really pretty, and I think they would go nicely in my white garden. And like I said, if I would have been paying attention, I would have gone back for a couple more, but that's okay. Irises, they reproduce quite well. And so I will be able to dig up babies and spread them around wherever I want them, in the front garden and in the white garden in the back. So it should be fine. It says blooms spring and early summer. I have had the worst luck with my irises blooming. I had to dig them all up and replant them. Of course, break them apart and spread them out. But I think they might have been planted too deeply, even though it says here to dig a hole to required depth. It doesn't specify the depth but it does say dig a hole. I don't see depth on here. It says drop the plant in, cover it up, and you're done. Water it in and you're done. Like all of these do. So I did what I thought I was supposed to do, and my irises did not. Oh, here we go. Full sun, plant height, spacing, depth, 4 to 6 inches. It said to plant it 4 to 6 inches. But I was talking to another gardener who has amazing irises in his yard, and he says that the top of the iris tuber needs to have the sun on it. So basically, just the roots need to be in the ground, and then they will flower. If you all have any tips or tricks when it comes to irises, please let me know. I have several iris varieties in my garden, over in the memorial garden, in the cut flower garden, soon in the front yard garden, and my as well as my tire garden by my shed, and the toilet gardens. And my irises are not blooming for me. They got beautiful top growth, but they're not blooming. So I'm doing all the things, and I'm not getting the correct results. So help me, please. All right, y'all, because I've grown to love the bearded iris. I've never had irises before. I did buy a packet of irises from Walmart many years ago. That iris blooms for me, and I don't have to do anything to it. It's in the tire garden. But the bearded irises, child, not so much. So I'm just going to throw that back over there on top of all of the loofah that I've harvested. And I have some more cups that I've been putting soil in. I need to put some more soil because I've run out of soil in the little pot that I had down here that I was showing you all earlier. I'm all out of soil in there. I have a pot up under my chair, but it has, I'm going to show you guys. Hopefully it's not dripping because I just watered it. It's hang on, y'all. I watered it, so it has water in it. I don't want it dripping all over me. I take cuttings of different things, and these are my Rose of Sharon, and they're still alive. I think they've decided to go to sleep, but they are very much alive. So they're in the garage right here, and I've already did an experiment. I put some in water and I put some in soil. The ones in the water grew roots rapidly. And so I took one of those and put it in the front garden in between my house and my neighbor's house. So it's over there in the front garden. So I'm hoping that by summer it'll be nice, big, bushy, and beautiful. And I will have clippings that I can do away with, because I do want to have the Rose of Sharon, like I have the Rose of Sharon in the back garden, which is how I got these clippings. So I do want it to multiply. So I'm not going to use that soil. So what I'm going to do, I got distracted, y'all. Oh, I see a scratch on my car. Lord have mercy. All right. Can't worry about that. It's already done. So I'm going to go ahead on, turn you all down so that you can see. This is nothing more than a recycled bag. I do recycle in my house. This used to have burpee, eco-friendly, organic coconut garden core. What I do is I buy big bricks of garden core, coconut core, from my local nursery as well as online if I can get it online. I went back to buying it online because it was cheaper. I really like to buy nowadays more in my local area, but it was cheaper online and I needed a significant amount of it. So I bought 3 double-sized bricks and just sucked it up. So let me move you all down. I'm going to put this soil in these little cups, and we will begin to plant. I don't know, because I have a lot more things to plant. I know it probably seems kind of chaotic in my garage today because I have a lot that I need to catch up on. So I do apologize for that. But I'm going to be planting the regular common chicory and the shiso and a couple more things out of the herb food bag, and then we're done with the herb food and we'll move on to some flowers. So let's move down here and let's do a little bit more planting before we move on to some flowers. I've already placed my soil, and I've got soil all over the floor, y'all. I'm not happy with myself. But I do have some soil here in the container or in the cups. I have not watered it yet. I did spill a little bit of soil in the tray. So it's time to go ahead and water like we did before, making sure that our soil is moist and our seeds are not sitting on dry soil. And that way, when we water them in, they will absorb water not only from the soil, but from the little bit of spray that I spritz on top when I finish planting. So I really want to be successful here. I'm generally successful when I plant like this in the wintertime. The problem is keeping it alive and putting it outside and labeling it. I don't always have the best success with that. I need to break up this coconut core. It's still a little put together right there. All right. Okay, so we said we were going to try to grow some shiso, perella, red and green. I have never got this to germinate for me. I don't know why. I have been putting it in the refrigerator to cold stratify it. It says sell by December of 24, so they should have germinated for me, but they did not. Alas, they did not. Now these look like brassica seeds. They look just like brassica seeds. They're a little bit lighter in color, but they appear to be the same looking type of seed. So we're just going to put some in there like that. It's an annual, takes full sun to part shade. So after last chance of spring frost. Okay, I'm going to put some more seeds in there. Like I said, I have not had success with this. Okay, just like that. And then we are going to label and see if maybe planting them indoors is the trick. I've planted them in several locations in the back garden numerous times and no dice. No dice. And I'm very interested in seeing if this will work and how this tastes. If you have ever tried this green, let me know. Let me know what you think about it. And since that's kind of small, I am going to just take a little bit of soil. Actually, this is nothing more than coconut core and perlite, and I'm just going to dust it over the top like so. I feel like I didn't get it on there. Let's see. I always fear that when I use anything to press down the soil on top of my seeds, that my seeds will come back up and I'll be transplanting seeds that I don't mean to transplant somewhere else. So that's always my fear when I do that, when I tap down on the soil, always my fear. Okay, just in case I somehow missed a couple of seeds, because I feel like I might have missed a couple of seeds, I'm just going to do a little bit of vermiculite on top of there because I couldn't tell whether or not that got on top of there. Better be safe than sorry, right? All right, so we're going to put that back in the bag. And like I mentioned, I'm not planting the bee balm, the lemon balm. That's going to go in the greenhouse in those containers. This is, oh, did I put? Yeah, I did. This is just the common chicory. I don't think this one grew for me either. I do have one out there, but I don't know if it's this one or the other one. Either way, I am going to put chicory in here. And this is a relatively small-ish looking seed. So we're just going to put it in there like that. I'm actually going to put more. Another pinch. I'm going to pick that cup up and turn it and see about shifting these seeds all around this cup because I would like to have as much chicory as I can get. I really need the root. And again, you can eat the leaves. So I am going to get some soil in here. I keep saying soil, but this is nothing more than coconut coir. It's just seed starting mix, basically. We're just going to sprinkle that around like so. And again, just in case I didn't cover everything, just a little bit of vermiculite. I want as much success around as I can possibly get. I'm just trying to put it around the edges as well. And that is, it didn't say common chicory, but it just said chicory. The other one had an actual name on it. So I'm just going to write on here chicory. Like that. Okay. Move that cup over. So that's pretty much all I'm sewing in out of this container, everybody, or this bag, because the common cilantro bolts too much, too quickly. I'm going to put the bee balm directly in the garden. I want to put the peppermint in its own pot, the bee balm in its own pot, the true Greek oregano, I want to put that outside. I am not going to be sowing any of this Texas Star hibiscus because that is already in the garden. It is a perennial, and I don't need to plant it. It comes up all on its own. And the citronella balm, I'm going to plant that in the garden directly as well. Spearmint, same thing. I already have some hyssop. I think that's still growing well in the greenhouse. So we're going to put these other plants outside in little containers in the greenhouse, and we're going to call it a day on that. Now, what I'd like to do is plant some peppers. I'm going to use the other containers that I have here, these store-bought pots. I'm going to use those for the flowers. So I'm going to go get the peppers from indoors, take these seeds, the food seeds, back and put them in the refrigerator. And then I'll be back, and we're gonna plant some peppers, because these are the largest cups that I have. I have smaller cups. I will need to go make smaller cups because I have several seeds that I would like to sow. I already have the tags for those already written up from last year. So I have several, and this is not going to be enough cups for that. So I'll be using these smaller cups because that's all I have left as far as the cups are concerned. And I want to put them in the peekaboo cups because that way I don't have to worry about watering the tray and then pouring excess water off if need be. So let me go get the peppers, because I don't mind the flowers being watered from the tray, but the food, I want to manage those a little bit differently. So let me go get the peppers, because I don't have the peppers or the eggplant, and I need to get that, and then we'll plant that, and I'll be right back. Not only did I get peppers, but I also got my choys. And so I do want to put choys out in the garden. I would like to have a significant amount of choys in the garden, so I did get that. I have a lot that I need to sow, and I have a long growing season, so I don't necessarily feel like I'm behind the 8 ball, but I don't want to spend a lot of time in the garage with growing plants, because I don't want them to sit in here for too long and then they suffer or get leggy. And when I get them outside, they're wasted. That's what I try to avoid. So I push this back a little bit. I just was not trying to sow seeds. Our weather has continued to be very warm. It is winter. We had 70, I think 73, 74, 75 degrees today. The weather said that we might get 1 or 2 days in the next week or two that might go down to the high 30, like maybe 38, but the days get up into the 60s. So our weather is our weather is not average. I was gonna say normal, but it's just not average. I don't know if this is going to be typical, but we shall see. Normally in January it is bitter cold and we are all bundled up. Well, not all of us. Many people will have on coats and shorts. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but oh, I had a shishito label. Y'all, look at me. I had one. So I'm gonna take this off of here and use this label for a pepper or something. So I'm gonna go ahead on and look through my pepper stash. I have a few more peppers than I had before. My girlfriend and I we did a seed exchange together several months ago, and so I do have a significant amount of peppers that I would like to sow and get them in the garden. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my labels in here and then search for the pepper seeds, and then put the pepper seeds in the cup. I don't think I'm going to grow any bell peppers. Bell peppers, I don't know. Let me just think about that for a second. Bell peppers are, I don't really need any paprika. I've got plenty of paprika in the house. I don't need that. I think I'm going to try this giant Marconi though. I think that's not a hot pepper. But bell peppers, in my experience, they just do not seem to grow enough for me. I don't like what I get, the harvest I get from the bell pepper. So I don't think I'm going to grow any bell pepper. But let me sit on it for just a second and think about it, and then we'll see. I will need to make more labels because I have more seeds that I know I want to get in the garden. I'm just trying to take the name off of that label off to the side. That's the best it's going to get. My girlfriend gave me a Sunbright sweet pepper. I think this is kind of like a bell. She gave me a Thai hybrid, a really hot pepper. Probably not going to grow that. This is an orange sun pepper. That's probably a bell. And I really need bell peppers, but the bell peppers are not giving. So I'm not happy about that. This is a giant Marconi. I was told that this might be a good pepper. So we are going to see. And I know they recommend that you soak your seed. As you all can see, I have not soaked any seeds this year. Generally, I try to soak my seeds, but that didn't happen. I'm only going to take 4 pepper seeds. I am not trying to overdo this. I don't want to waste my seed. So I'm going to strategically place these pepper seeds across from each other. That way, if they do germinate, they will not be crowded. Because I do want a nice sized pepper in this cup before I can get them out in the garden. I don't want any leggy, short little stumpy plants. I still have peppers in the garden growing right now. I just harvested, I think I just placed that seed. I sure did. I just harvested some habanero and dehydrated those. So that's the first time me growing habanero. I'm hoping that those seeds will stay alive. Fingers crossed, hoping, hoping, hoping. That would be lovely. Next seed is I think it's called well, no, I'm going to do this one next, only because it's in my hand. So we're going to shift. We are going to shift. I will have to throw this cup away. I can feel that cup is busted. This is the long, slim red cayenne. I need a significant amount of cayenne in the garden. I hope you guys can see. Can you all see? I hope that camera is not blurring. I do apologize if it is. I do have a bug zapper in my garage because every time I open up the garage door, flies come in. I would like to think that these bugs would have gone to sleep, but nope. Where did that seed? Oh, there it is. No, they have not gone to sleep, y'all. They are out here bugging people, not minding their own business. So I put 4 long red cayenne peppers in here like that. So we're going to put that right here. That way we know that we've planted all that. And you know what? Just for gee whiz, I am going to put, let me grab it. It's over here to my right on the floor. I'm going to put some vermiculite. I want to try to keep everything moist if that's possible. I'm going to put that right there for right now. And we're going to close this bag up. I need cayenne in my kitchen. I am dreadfully low on the cayenne pepper. I mean, I'm embarrassed at how low my cayenne is. Very disappointed in myself. This is the, what is this? I think this is the pepperoni pepper. Peppercini pepper, something like that. Nope, this is the shishito pepper. Oh, maybe that, oh, you know what I did, y'all? That was supposed to be shishito pepper. I thought it said shisho, the perella, and I took the name off. You see what happens when you don't have your reading glasses on? You mess up stuff. Let's see if there's any in this packet. I know there's some that I harvested the seed and they're in a little baggie. But what I like to do, let me write back on here, shisho, because I messed that up, y'all. I should have grabbed my reading glasses. What, yeah, I can't see. When I was in the house, but I did not. Shishito pepper. Okay, wanted to make sure I had the right amount of eyes in that word. I don't have a cup. Good gravy. Okay, I will need to take this out of here and put this in here, and then I'll go and get a cup. But I like to take a couple of seeds out of the packet and a couple of seeds that I have harvested myself. I will put the seeds that I took out the packet nearest the label and the seeds that I harvested nearest the front of the cup. Hopefully I remember. This is a test for myself to see if my seeds are viable. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick through, and if they are, if the seed looks like the seed out of the seed packet, I will go ahead on and sow it. As a matter of fact, I am going to sow 5 of these just to see. And then we're going to put those back in there. So save your seed, you all. This is saved seed from peppers that I grew in 2023. Because I did not, if memory serves me correctly, I did not have them in the garden last year. My pepper game last year was very disappointing. My peppers that I tried to overwinter did not overwinter for me. And I had a lot of trouble with my coverings in the garden. So we're doing better this year, you all. We're doing better. So that's the shishito pepper. So we're going to move that in line up here. So that way we know that we have planted that seed. Did I put some soil on top? I did not. See, I'm messing up already again, y'all. Let's put some soil on top of here. And then we will put some vermiculite. There we go. I have to have a system. I think it's important to have some kind of system. That way you know which seeds you've sown. You know if something is viable. So I try to have a system. That says purple cayenne. Let's see if I can find. That's the purple bell pepper. That's so beautiful. But these bell peppers, y'all. Here we go. This is the pepperoni. Let's do that because I have it in my hand. Let's do this one. because I have it in my hand. And I will need to make some cups. I don't like putting the peppers in these smaller cups, but I have no choice. I do not have any more larger cups. I should have started with the larger cups for the peppers, but what's done is done. Okay. Oh, I can see that there are only a couple of seeds in here. So I will take 2 of these that were in the container already or in the packet already. Excuse me. Put them in there like that. And then I will take several of the ones that I harvested from the plants that I grew. And I want to plant 5 of these. I would like to pickle these and put them on salad. So several of those are in there, just like that. And I did save seed. You all can see I did save seed for that as well. I really enjoy peppers. They have multifunction in my house. I use them for seasoning, dry seasoning. I use them for hot sauce. Dry seasoning means I dehydrate them. I use them for hot sauce. That's a bell pepper. That's a jalapeno. I am looking for, that's another bell pepper. I already have serrano. This is the poblano one. Since I have it in my hand, y'all see a pattern? We're gonna go ahead. And I want to say I got poblano seeds from someone. I'm not sure where or whom that I got poblano seeds from. But I also bought this packet. And so I'm going to use these. I'm going to use them both. I would love poblano peppers in the garden so that I could stuff them and have stuffed peppers. As I was saying, peppers have dual purpose in my home. So I am going to put 3 of these and 2 of the other packet. And I do not know if these seeds are viable, either one of them, even though this packet that I just put the seeds in there, it says sell by December of 25 is what that packet said. So, but that does not necessarily mean that you will have viable seeds. Just because you get it from a seed company, sometimes things happen. So I'm going to put 2 of these in here. And then I will have 5, hopefully 5 plants. I'm trying to optimize how many plants I get. I'm trying to do. So I want as many peppers this year as I can possibly get for pickling, for dehydrating, for stuffing, for freezing, for making sriracha, for making just plain hot sauce, not fermented hot sauce. So that is what I use my peppers for. I even sometimes use peppers as a pest deterrent. So we've got 1 more cup left. This is the purple cayenne. So let me actually find the purple cayenne. I know it's in here somewhere, you all. Here it is. So I'm hoping that the peppers that I have in the garden right now, the fish pepper, the serrano, the habanero, and I think Fresno. What's this? This is the cayenne pepper. And I've got 2, 4, 5, 6 seeds. I am going to put all of these in here because none of these germinated last year. And I was very disappointed in that. This seed says packed for sale for 24. So it did not grow for me in 24, did not grow for me in 25. And I tried replanting this purple cayenne pepper several times, and it did absolutely nothing for me. And I really need cayenne in the house. I dry the cayenne and I put it on all kinds of stuff. I like cayenne pepper. I even put cayenne on achy joints. I put it in castor oil and I put it on achy joints. Okay, so I am going to have to get some more cups put together and sow the rest of my seeds. But I think this video is probably long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a second video, a part 2, and I'm going to sow the choys and the flowers in that video. So let me finish off planting a few more peppers, but I'm going to say a proper goodbye and I'm going to finish this off. All right, everybody. Again, I do apologize for the lighting if the lighting looks off. I want to thank you for joining me in my garage greenhouse grow space. I have a lot of plants that I need to get planted up or seeds I need to sow. And so I'm going to just sow all the plants that I possibly can because I haven't been doing it and I need to do it. So I'm going to sit here as long as it takes and get everything I want planted, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, share the video. Do leave me a comment if you're sowing and growing any of the things that I've been sowing tonight. If you have any advice or information, or you just want to chat about your growing experience, please put that in the comment box below. I greatly appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. Share the video. All of these things helps YouTube know that my content is worth viewing, and they will continue to put me up in the algorithm. So do me a favor and do that. I'd greatly appreciate it. I am not a professional gardener. I am like many people I know. I garden in my backyard. I garden on both sides of my house, and I garden in the front of my house. I am growing something on all sides of my home, and that's purposeful. I talked about that, I want to say, in my last Car Chronicles, to live a purpose-filled life, and I purposefully put gardens all around my home. I want to make sure that I get to see the beauty that I want to see, and if there's something that I can possibly grow for myself, my friends, and family, that I can do that. It looks like my battery on my phone is about ready to die. It's getting low, so I've got to go. I've made a few videos today, so I think that I will have to wait on this third one, or just take you guys outside, or just show you all after I get everything planted up. So until the next time, thank you for spending time with me, because you could be spending time with anyone. And I appreciate it that you spent your time with me. So until the next time, bye for now. And if you're not growing something, consider growing something. Now is the time. Bye. It is almost 9:40. I've been in the garage for hours. As you can see, I've got the entire top shelf done. Both trays are completely full of plants or seeds. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm using my hand. You can't really see it too well, but on the second shelf, I have planted up a bunch of flower seeds that need light in this little container right here. And I have 3 small cups right here that are planted up as well with different flowers. So I'm going to call it a night for tonight. And I do have more to sow. So I will have probably this entire tray right here filled up, and this tray filled up. Right now, this tray is just the irises and the Rose of Sharon. What I'll probably do is move those to the next tray, which is shelf, which is the third shelf. and fill up both of those shelves with flowers and food. I will do a succession planting of oh, that sounded weird. I'll do a succession planting of the Asian greens. I still have some more Asian greens to sow. There were a couple things that I did not sow that were inside. I totally forgot about it. I just grabbed my little bucket or box that was in the refrigerator. So I'll be sowing some more Asian greens probably in about 2 weeks or so, maybe. But I want to get some bok choys and pak choys and all that in the garden as well. And I want to succession plant that. I am really getting into eating more of those types of greens, and so I do want to have those in the house. So this is all I'm doing tonight, y'all. So here's an update. Hope you like.